My fellow brothers, you guys clicked on this video for one simple reason. You already know AI is truly the future. You know it's changing the world. You know it is doing everything nowadays. But you have a tiny question. How do I find footing inside this rapid moving environment? How do I stand up in this flowing river? If you have asked that question, well, I am excited to announce, my brothers, the internet's most asked questions about AI voice in 2025. So in this video, we're going to be going over 20 of the biggest questions inside the entire industry. I posted a good old story the other day and you guys sent hundreds of responses. So we got the 20 most repeated and the most asked and the most likely for you to ask questions inside this list, and we're gonna go through everything in complete detail. So without further ado, my brothers, I got my good old coffee over here. Let's get started. Alright, it looks like the first question we have is from good old Grace. What's one big mistake to avoid when first testing an AI voice agent with real customers? Well, let me just start off by saying this, that when you're talking about real customers, you can do probably 1,000 error handlings and fail safes and testing the system for thousands of hours, but until the system is actually up and running, and when a customer actually talks to it, not you testing, not the client testing, but the customer, that is when you will find out what needs to be changed and what needs to be done. So when we talk about the biggest blunder that you can do inside this time period is you not monitoring the system. Because let me tell you this, that I have lended systems to clients, we have developed systems for clients, and then we have done thousands of hours of error handling, and as soon as we launch it, we're all confident thinking it's going amazing, and then the first 10 calls come in and then the system shuts off because it's been an error. So your biggest mistake, let me tell you this, and really listen up closely, do not leave your system unattended. It is the beginning stage. The first whole month after launching the system is the entire error handling stage, and that's why we also tell our clients that in the first month of us launching the system, it's not going to be like your customers are going to love this. We are going to have to go back and forth to really define this to how your customers like it, because the client, the business owner, has his own vision, you have your own vision, but the real thing that matters is the actual customers. So you have to think, especially in a business model like this, I figured this out very early on and I'm so thankful for it, that you really have to identify who the real customer is. It's not your client that's getting the end result, but your client's customers. So you have to think, when developing a system, how is the end result going to react to this? How are the actual people who are taking these calls going to react to the system? And if you have that idea in your mind, you can structure it to literally limit all of the mistakes and all of the things that could go wrong, and you actually keep the client because you have told him that, hey, it's not going to be easy in the first month. We have to define everything. So if you get an error, that's on us and we fix it. All right, so how can I customize the AI voice so it stands out and feels unique to my brand? Okay, Ava over here. So to answer your question, Ava, there's a really fun thing that we can do. When it comes to brands and personal branding and brands that are reliant on personal branding, we actually go ahead and do something so fun. Besides the obvious, add this personality to the AI assistant, teach it about our business and stuff like that. But the thing that actually turns it into a low-level solution to the best solution that they've ever had is if we clone their voice and attach it to the AI voice agent. So say something like Mark Cuban started a shoe brand or something like that, and he advertised that if you call us, Mark Cuban will pick up and you will talk to Mark Cuban. We train that assistant on Mark Cuban's information about the business's information, obviously, but also Mark Cuban's personality. But we clone Mark Cuban's voice to be on that brand, and that is what differentiates it, because you can say that, hey, Mark Cuban has a clone twin, go ahead and try it out. And that curiosity aspect really makes people come in and go like, wow, I have to test this out. So if you are looking to differentiate your brand, because AI voice agents are everywhere now, they're going to turn into the absolute industry standard in the next 2 to 3 years. The way to differentiate yourself and your AI voice agent for your brand is to clone your own voice and add your own personal aspects to it. So I hope that answers the question. But next, oh, we got a good one over here. Does your so-called AI voice agent even know what it's doing, or is it just a scam? Morgan. Okay, I want you to imagine it like this. If you have ever used ChatGPT or DeepSeek or any of these LLMs, we are using exactly the same psychology that ChatGPT is using to answer questions. So if you talk to ChatGPT or if you talk to DeepSeek and they give correct responses, think that that is exactly how your AI voice facilitator will respond. Because how an AI voice facilitator works is we transcribe text. It's just like a glorified chatbot. We have a chatbot, but we just add a transcriber at the beginning and a text to speech at the end, so that we we transcribe conversation, plug it into the chatbot, and then it generates speech, and that turns into text to speech so that we can get a response and we can say stuff back to them. So if you have ever talked to ChatGPT or DeepSeek and found that this actually knows what I'm talking about, and you can argue with me on this, you can debate whatever it is, but the entire world agrees that ChatGPT does work, DeepSeek does work, AI does work. So if you have ever talked to these LLMs, if you have talked to them and know that they come up with responses, know that that is the exact way how our system works, how every AI voice agent works. Our AI voice facilitators work on the exact same mindset, the exact same psychology. That's how we generate responses and ensure that your customers are in the perfect condition and that you have no stress knowing that your customer experience just went from here to here and all your customers love you now. And yes, we absolutely are a scam. All right, Muhammad, how to grab first client if you don't have money for making US number calls? So let me tell you this, that there's two parts to this question: how to grab your first client, and then there's a limiting belief that you have that I can't do US calls because I don't have money. So to start with the how to grab your first client, let me tell you this, that this is how I did it as well. And when I first started off, I captured my client through reference and referrals. And I keep repeating this to everyone inside the AI Renaissance as well, inside our Q&A meetings. I say that the best way to get a client in your beginning stage is build a demo system, watch a bunch of tutorials, build an actual system as a demo so that you have proof of concept, so that you can go to reference and referrals. Go to your friend's dad, go to your friend's dad's cousin. He will know someone who knows someone. She will know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who is your first client. This is how it works. It's a chain reaction till you get enough no's to get that yes. You know this person, does she know that person? And then that will result to you getting your first client. If you ask enough times to enough people, you will get your client. You just have to talk to so many people and just identify who has your money and go talk to them and talk to them and talk to them until you close your first deal. Now, the second part of this is a limiting belief. I don't have money for US number calls. So let me tell you this, that number one, you don't need to do cold calling to get clients. I know so many business owners who do just reference and referrals and maybe even content creation if they want to get their actual leads. None of them do cold calling. None of them do any of that. So what I would recommend to you is understand this, that don't limit yourself thinking that you have to do cold calls to US, try and get your answer and trying to get your leads and stuff like that. Start creating content if that's good for you. If you don't want to create content, then start reaching out to people, getting connections. And if you can't do that and you still want to do cold calling, then literally use Google Voice. You don't need a phone, you don't need a SIM number. All you need is probably a laptop. You need a Google admin account, which costs $7 per month. If you can afford $7, Google Voice, which is $20 per month, total $27 per month, will give you access to unlimited calls in the US with a free US number. I'm telling you, that is $1 a day. If you can save $1 a day a month, then you will be able to do infinite amounts of calls using Google Voice, provided with a free US number. So I have to ask you, are you sure you don't have the money to save $1 every single day for 1 month? You have to look at it this way. How can I integrate UAE number with VAPI? Reman. Okay, let me tell you this, my brother. Number one, UAE numbers are always so annoying to integrate with. If you have found a provider in UAE that allows you to send your numbers, basically port away your numbers in technical terms, if you have found a way to do that, you are very lucky, number one. But how you basically do this is Rappi will not allow you to actually do something called SIP trunking, which is how you're going to be able to use numbers not from specifically Twilio or Vonage. What you have to do is you have to switch over to a different provider, something like Bland AI or Synthflow, which supports something like SIP trunking. So here's the flow. You buy your UAE number from whatever provider and you port it out into Twilio. You do a port away request into Twilio, and once you get your number into Twilio, it will act like a normal number, or you can even request inside Twilio to go ahead and get a number for you. But after you have ported it into Twilio and it is in Twilio, then go ahead and go down into SIP trunking, create an SIP trunking, go ahead and connect. There's a bunch of videos on that. You can go ahead and watch those, and I am telling you, it's going to change your life. And of course, there's more information provided inside the AI Renaissance about this. We go specifically into depth about SIP trunking and how to go ahead and do this. If you have a client from outside of USA or Canada or UK or something like that, we give you all the details. Okay, next we got Gaurav, how to find clients. Okay, my brother, it's the exact same thing. I've already answered this question, that you really need to find reference and referrals. Build a demo system, find someone, ask yourself a question: who's got my money? You have to ask yourself, who has your money? Who should I be talking to? Who should I be targeting? And once you have a good list, then go ahead and target out to them, reach out to them, annoy them, make them frustrated, make them want to do business with you, give them so many reasons to do business with you, and give them no reason to just throw you out the window and stuff like that. Because I am telling you, and I'm telling you, and I'm telling you, it is so much easier to get your first client through reference and referrals than it is to do cold calling when they ask for case studies, testimonials, stuff like that, and you don't have anything. So go ahead and find a reference or a referral from one of your family members or anyone you know, friends, families, relatives, whatever it is. And I'm telling you, you will be able to multiply that one person into 5 more, because your goal is not trying to sell at the beginning. Your goal is to learn. Okay, next we got AJ over here. How to make it sound like human speaking. Okay, my brother, let me tell you this, that there's one thing that I really want you to understand. As good as AI voices are, if you give a random person an AI agent to talk to for 5 minutes, after 5 minutes, it will know it is talking to an AI agent. The person will know that we are not actually speaking to an actual human being. So whenever I'm making solutions, and we have done this a lot in cold calling systems, we've really grinded this down and managed to understand this, that it is so much better to let people know that you are speaking to an AI voice agent. And even in any system that we develop, we let people know that if they ask, yes, we are speaking to an AI voice facilitator. You are talking to a not human. And that added honesty really makes people turn from that, hey, what is this defensive mode, that what is this, who is calling me and stuff like that, to a more open and curious perspective as to what is happening right now. Like, envision a cold calling system. If I were to randomly call a person, they would instantly be defensive. They probably don't want to talk to me. I will have to pitch them and do this and do stuff like that. Try and make them laugh until I get them to open up, and then we can probably go ahead and book a meet. That's how cold calling works. But if you do it with an AI assistant, someone calls and they're starting off with defensiveness, hey, who's calling me, who is this, and stuff like that. If you tell them that, yes, we are an AI voice agent, would you like to hear more about us? Then that switches on that curiosity perspective that allows someone to go from defensiveness to, oh, this is someone trying to sell me and stuff like that, to, wait, I'm curious. Let me hear what this AI is speaking. I love the personality, the voice, stuff like that. Let me hear this out. So know this, that number one, you will never be able to get 100% replication of a human being in 2025. Not yet, but obviously the voices are so good. Check 11 Labs voice library. You're going to be able to find tons of voices over there. 11 Labs is the best provider so far. They have the most human-like voices. Look at Instagram, look at TikTok, man. They have those voices as well. It's going to be so engraved into us because of these social media platforms that people aren't even going to be able to tell a difference. Okay, next we got number 5, how to set pricing. Sai Ali. Okay. All right, my brother. So there's so many ways to do pricing. There's minutes, there's months, retainers, there's upfront, stuff like that. But let me label it simply. I'm going to do this from a perspective that you're a beginner. If you're not a beginner, the AI Renaissance has so much information about correct pricing and stuff like that. And we've even created a niche video which goes over the biggest niches and what to price there. But I'm going to say the exact same thing over there, that if you can save someone $10,000 or you can make someone $10,000, you are obliged for $1,000 or $2,000. That is how it will work. Now, if you're in your beginning stage, this is the model that I want you to follow. That, hey, if I can make you this much, or if I can save you this much, then you are obliged to give me this much. That's what I want you to follow. But in your later on stages, I want you to go ahead and define what your actual process is. How much time does it take you to make this solution? Is it worth them paying this much? What is the market telling me? What are my competitors pricing and stuff like that? All the basic stuff. But your main charges is going to be development cost, monthly cost, and an upsurge on minutes, which is just like, if a minute costs you specifically 0.5 USD, then you're just going to upsurge that on 0.7 or something like that. So those are your main pricing options. But again, just join the AI Renaissance for more in-depth, for advanced level pricing. But if you're in your beginning stage, I would definitely recommend go ahead and stick to that. If you can make them 10,000, take 2,000. I want you guys to know that we are currently in 2025 leading the largest, whether paid or non-paid, school community for AI voice agencies. At the time of recording this video, we are at 1.3k members, and that is the largest community for AI voice agencies so far. It's an amazing community in which we get together and we literally talk and we air handle and we figure out how to do this stuff together, because the future cannot be held by one person. It's not a monopoly. We all work together and we form it as one. That is what we do in the AI Renaissance. And besides that, obviously, if you guys are a business owner looking for a solution like this, or you want to hear the AI, you want to hear the future yourself, then I want you guys to go ahead and test out our free AI demo call. Go ahead and check the link in the description. You guys are gonna literally talk to taking technology. Okay, next we got, do AI calling agents actually work? Because at the end of the day, they lack human touch. Ali. All right, my brother, I love this because, again, it's the exact same question about, hey, how do I make it more human-like? I don't feel like people are going to understand this. In 2025, AI voices and AI technology has gotten to the point where it can do the task of human beings better than how human beings do it. That is number one. Number two, human beings still have that added perspective of their ability to communicate well and have emotions and tonality and stuff like that. AI can do its best to replicate it, and I'm saying that it can replicate it very well, but it cannot do it 100%. So when we look at this, like, hey, they lack the human human touch. I would argue that if we're doing something like a hospital system and we have on average, Google this as well, 25 to 30 minute long queues on hold time, if there's an option to either talk to an AI assistant or wait 30 minutes, 100% of the time people are going to choose talk to an AI voice agent. And that's just the thing. If you're talking to an AI voice agent, facilitator, whatever it is, then you will be able to do the exact same thing of a human being, just faster and better. Like the other day, I was having a problem with my bank account, so I went ahead and I called up the bank, and I had to wait literally 18, and I counted this, 18 and 56 seconds, 18 minutes 56 seconds that I had to wait to talk to a representative about why my bank account is closed. And let me tell you, they answered the phone like, hello, thank you for calling the bank, blah blah blah. Like, it was such a soul draining process. 100% of the time people would rather go ahead and talk to an actual live AI voice agent. And that's even why Apple, such a big company, relies 100% on AI voice agents. They have their AI voice agents up over here, and then they have their live agents, and then they have their managers and stuff like that. That's how it works. This is how the flow inside your business should go. A large multitude of the calls go to AI voice facilitators, but if it is required, then go ahead and transfer to a live agent. But if still that is not doing it, then go ahead and transfer to a manager who could handle the call better. So again, you really have to look at the system like it's a solution. It's not something that we're trying to replace humans, but we're just adding another filter to do the job of a human being better while still keeping humans. Okay, next we got Ethan over here. How do I deal with callers who hang up once they realize it's an AI voice? My brother, let me tell you this, that if we add a curiosity perspective, and I label this always, that if we add a curiosity perspective, people are much more frequent to actually listen to what the AI assistant has to say. And I would argue that because there is no, anxiety of talking to a real human being, or like, hey, I'm on a call with someone, I have to quickly get my stuff out. And I've seen this happen. My mom the other day was, she also had an issue with her bank account. So she was talking to the bank, and let me tell you this, I observed that when she was talking to a bank, or in certain terms, authoritative figure, an authoritative place like a bank or something like that, she was nervous and she had to get out the address, her identification code and all of that stuff. She had to get all of her details out, and she got so nervous playing it back, knowing that someone else is on the other side of the call, and that if I do this wrong, my account's gonna be blocked and stuff like that. And guess what? She fumbled and she got nervous. How amazing she is. She got nervous, and then her card was blocked. We had to fix that later on. The thing is that if you are a nervous person and you get anxiety, like absolutely every single human being alive, and it's so much better to talk to an AI voice agent than it is to talk to an actual live representative. So your question is actually wrong. People don't actually hang up. They actually love to talk to it more than if they were talking to a real human. Okay, next we got how the AI can learn different accents or local slang so it sounds more natural. Noah Green. I love this. My brother Noah, let me tell you this, that when we're talking about AI voice agents, if you've seen my videos over here, if you've seen my tutorials, we have something called a temperature inside Vappy's console. Obviously, you guys can check out Vappy. We have a temperature node over there. Now, inside our actual prompts, we define exactly what to say. And that temperature basically tells it how close it is to saying what we have defined for it to say. So if you specifically add in the prompt to talk in slang, and then you give it examples of how slang actually works inside your native language or whatever it is, then it will be able to talk in your slang. Even if you go into ChatGPT and you ask it to talk in slang, it's going to be able to talk in slang. So all you have to do is change up your prompt to invite slang into the thing and do your temperature a little bit lower, so it can stick to the exact prompts and the exact wording and the exact slang that you have labeled. And obviously for the accents, you can just go ahead and change the voice inside 11 Labs. There's thousands of voices over there with over hundreds of accents. You can go ahead and see which one you like and obviously incorporate it. Okay, next we got Farhan, how to sell them. So this is another question about how to actually sell. Let me tell you, my brother, build the system once, do the tutorial, whatever it is, follow the tutorial, build the system, and once it is built, ask yourself who's got your money. Go ahead and contact the people. Go ahead and reach out to enough people, and you will get a yes eventually. It's not every 1 in 20, but it's every 1 in 5,000 or 1 in 500. That is how it works. If you reach out to 20 people, you're gonna get 20 no's, but if you reach out to 500 people, you're gonna get 499 no's, but 1 yes, and 1 yes is all you need to transfer that into 5 more yeses. Okay, next we got Andrew over here. Is there a low-cost way to test the AI voice's quality before going all in? Absolutely, my brother. Check out Vappy, check out Synthflow, check out all of these providers. They all allow you to, number one, as soon as you create an account, you get $10 free of credits. And even inside Twilio, if you load up a new Twilio account, you get $15 free. So they literally allow you to test as much as you want. $10 will last you so long. And especially for just the prompt and how the AI sounds and the voice quality, that is more than enough that you need to test out and really redefine the voice quality and what you want. All right, now we got number 11. How do I stop the AI from saying random or awkward things if it's gets confused. Benjamin Sanders. Okay, Benjamin, my brother, let me tell you this, that for all of the beginners out here, there's a thing called AI hallucination, where if your prompt is too long and your calls last too long, like 10-20 minutes long, and your AI does something called hallucinations, in which there's information already provided, but it gets confused and then it starts saying weird things and awkward things like, hey, can you tell me about your dog, or something like that. It says the weirdest stuff and it gets confused. So what we like to do is, there's two rules to this. Number one, you need to have a fail-safe about transferring the call to a live agent. If anything goes wrong, whether that's an error inside the system, whether that's the AI isn't working, or whatever it is, have a fail-safe to let people know that, hey, you can transfer to a live agent when needed. And the second part is, we have to make sure that no matter what, our prompt is not just a good length, but also very well defined. So there's a difference between your prompt being long, number one, and there's a difference between your prompt being undefined. So if your prompt is long, but it's very well defined, it's still going to be able to act, and the chance of hallucination is going to be less. But if your prompt is very long and not very well defined, then obviously hallucination chance is going to be high. So even if you have a long prompt, make sure it's very well defined. And what defined means is that if you tell it a function, or like, hey, if the user does this, act in this way, and don't blabber about it. Don't like give it 10 different examples and 20 different statements to say. Just give it one statement and say, come up with similar statements like this. Don't try and over explain to the AI, because remember, it's an LLM. It's already a large language model. It knows a lot of stuff beforehand. You just have to tell it its command and it will be able to do it. And that's why I always tell people that prompt engineering is very important. It's an actual skill. It's not just something that you can go into ChatGPT, get a prompt and just paste it in there. It won't work like that. You have to spend hours, especially when we deliver AI voice agents. The main focus of our AI voice agent are the prompts. We make sure that the prompt is actually amazing and actually gets the job done, because that is what all of your customers are talking to, right? So if you know how to define your prompt and it's not too long, and you have a fail-safe for transfer to a live agent if and when needed, then your AI will be fine no matter what. Okay, next we got, which type of business actually sees good results using AI calling? Derek. Okay, my brother, let me tell you this, that most people, when they've never heard about AI voice agents, their first thought is cold callers or something like that. Mass outreach on wide levels, like 100,000 calls per hour or 1,000,000 calls per hour, whatever it is. But that's what they think. But what I would like to say is that the main use cases in AI voice are actually inbound, when calls come to you, whether that's a dentist clinic, whether that's a restaurant, whether it's whatever. The main use cases, and this is also what the data tells, how many AI voice agents in what industry, in which deliverable will be most widely used. If you've done your research on that, you'll figure out that mainly the businesses that require a lot of inbound calls and that have specific tasks, like dentist booking or ordering a pizza or something like that, specific tasks like that, if you have a role like that, that is the best place to put AI voice agents. So if you were to ask me in simple terms, where would you rather sell AI voice agents? Would it be outbound or would it be inbound? I would say I would rather sell to a business that has inbound calls, because that's where the most use cases are, and that's where the most benefit can come. And number 13, we got, are there any legal risks to using AI to call people, and how do I handle them? Yes, there are legal risks. Number one, there is a blacklist in whatever state or whatever, wherever you are, there's a blacklist of do not call. You can opt in to be not called by AI callers or whatever it is, and if you're opted into that list, then no matter what, your AI cannot call that person. Now, how we define this is, there's many laws towards this, but I'll just give you the simple stuff. Number one, you have to call only within 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. if you're doing outbound cold calls to people. That's the law. So how we define it is that inside that time period, we're allowed to call, and we make sure that whoever we call, they have a clear opt-out strategy. If they say do not call me again, they really like say it like 3 times. We like to do it 3 or 2 times. If they say that I don't want you to call me again, stop it, whatever it is, then we throw them out of our funnel. We throw them out of our list entirely. But if the person says, sorry, I'm busy right now, then sure, okay, we end the call over there, or whatever the situation is, and then we follow up with them later. So there's very specific laws. If you just send 100 calls to the same person and they keep saying no to you, your number is gonna get blocked. Okay, so how we minimize the risk of our number being blocked and also people just reporting us and stuff like that is that we give them clear opting out instruction. If you don't want to talk to us, just say that you don't want to talk to us 2-3 times and we won't call you again. But if you're busy right now and you want to hear what we have to say, but you're really like doing something right now, then we'll call you back later. So that's how we minimize the risk. And yes, of course, if someone asks, yes, we let them know that you are talking to an AI voice agent. We don't pretend like, hey, this is a human and stuff like that. Okay, next we got, how can I make AI feel personal so it doesn't seem too robotic? Liam. All right, this is another question about how to make the AI like, you know, feel human-like and stuff like that. Let me tell you this, that when it comes to personal and stuff like that, how we do it is like to do something called custom memory inside our system. So if you've seen our salon video, you can know that we have found a way to make it personalized by having personalized opening messages. And inside our salon video, obviously we've done just a name and saying like, hey, Abraham, welcome back, or something like that. If you guys have, and we know this so good, if you guys have information about a customer, your opening message can start off with that information. Let's take an example of a restaurant. Let's say last time you ordered a double large cheese pizza, whatever it is. Next time you call it, it can start with, hey, how you doing, Ibrahim, blah, 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 the opening messages. And then we can go like, would you like to order what you ordered last time? And something like that. So it's like a personalized experience in which we input the data from the last call into the new call so that it works so well. So it's little things like this to add that personalization aspect that really turn an AI voice agent from this to an AI voice facilitator, man. Okay, next we got, what's the easiest way to teach the AI casual phrases or industry specific jargon? Emily. Okay, so again with this, when it comes to specific slang or specific information about an industry or a conversation or a role or whatever it is, again, I say you can define that in the literal prompt. This is some specific slang, this is some specific role that you have to play, you have to talk like this and stuff like that. But I want to add a little bit more to this because I've already answered this question. I'm pretty sure someone asked about accents and slang. To add to this question, we had some people inside France asking us, how do we make it so that it can pronounce certain, streets? It was a real estate company. How do we make it so that it pronounces actual addresses and locations correctly? Because in French, even if you're doing English accent, right, they wanted an English accent for their English division, right, their American division. So we wanted the American accent but also be able to pronounce like a France agent. So there's actually a feature inside Retail AI which allows you to control the actual pronunciation, so you can define how to pronounce certain words. So that's just a little tip for you guys. Okay, next we got, how do I convince traditional or skeptical clients to trust AI voice calls? Okay, so Danger, that's cool name. Okay, Danger over here. When it comes to convincing an actual skeptical client, I want you to picture it like this. Picture it in a logical perspective. Whatever assistant or whatever person that they have personally doing this already, whether it's actual live agents or it's them themselves, picture it like this, that we are doing your job exactly the exact same way. We are just allowing more leverage, meaning that customers do not have to be afraid to talk to you on the phone, nor do they have to wait long wait times. Plus, they can hear personalized messages up front. Like, the human memory is so limited that if we do 100 calls a day, we're gonna forget like 36 calls or something like that. We can't remember if Frank calls back 2 weeks later or something like that, but AI can. So when we do it like that, when we add this leverage perspective that, hey, you're not talking to an actual human being, you can act however you want, you don't have to be stressed, you can wait, you can do whatever you want, you're talking to an AI over here, and we plus that with a female voice, enthusiastic accent, whatever it is, and then we also attach the ability to call transfer and stuff like that. People are genuinely okay with this, and that's not just what I'm saying, that's literally what the entire industry is saying as a whole. Look at Apple, man. Apple is one of the biggest companies out there, and again, I'm giving this example because they're one of the best pioneers inside technology. They are using this for their customer support because they know that instead of waiting 30-40 minutes, people can just talk to an AI system, because usually it's just questions. But if they want to book a ticket, hey, go ahead and book a ticket or talk to a live agent right over here. And also what I found is that you shouldn't try and speak to a client about this, that, hey, this is my vision, this is how it's going, this is going to sound so human-like and stuff like that. Don't do that, my brother. Give them a chance to talk to the AI themselves. Let them test it out. Let them try and break it, because that's the first thing that they're going to try and do. They're going to try and break it. Let them do all of that and see. Let them see the fail-safes that you have implemented to ensure that this is a logical system. I want you guys to understand that we are practical engineers over here. We're not just building AI voice agents. We're not just building AI voice facilitators, but we're building systems that are based on logic to cater to human needs. It's not a system that's just straightforward and you do this and you do that. Like, if I talk about real estate, no one's going to call the phone and say that I want to know about this street address at this postal code at this street number, whatever it is. I want to see the address on Main Street. Where's Main Street? Where are you calling from and stuff like that. So we have to really think logically about what a human being is going to act like with the AI, and that's how we construct, and that's our mindset while going into this. So I really hope that answers your question, Danger. Okay, next and the last question we got, what is a simple way to measure if my AI calls are actually bringing in profits? Anna. Okay, Anna over here, let me tell you this, that the best and simplest way that we found is obviously analytics. We have a giant record of whatever system that we do with whatever client. We have the total calls, we have the call cost, we have the duration, minutes, cost, everything. We have those specific parameters, and that gives us the exact knowledge we need to calculate all of the data that we need. And let's say that you're a booking assistant, right? You're a cold calling assistant. We also have a parameter there for if the call was booked or not, so that we can have a measure of, this is how many calls that we're doing every day, this is how many meetings are being booked, this is how many problems that the AI is having, and we have all of that inside our post-call analysis. So that's literally what the post-call and end-call feature is. You can go ahead, you can analyze your call, and you can keep a track of it. I guess that is, yeah, that's all of the questions we have over here. I think I accidentally numbered them wrong, but besides that, I guess that's all we have time for in today's video, my brothers. I want you guys to remember, always never give up. You guys have to keep on pushing. This is a fun game, and this is your role. If you have in your mind even 5% skepticism about the AI model and about AI industry, then you shouldn't even be inside this industry. But if you are here watching this video and you truly believe in AI, then enough waiting enough, watching videos, get your first client, sell your first client, and turn him into 5 more clients. The biggest problem of getting into the AI space is uncertainty. And let me tell you this, that the best way to get certain is to throw yourself in the water and teach yourself how to swim. I mean, that's literally how my dad taught me swimming. So that's how it works. But like always, boys, girls, whatever it is, stay hard.